This is the Sinner review for the S-rank vertical Clementine. Conclusions first, Clementine serves mainly as a support for physical Overlimit teams, and in Remnant of the Depths, she is kind of like Pine with a higher damage output. If you love playing Xiaofeng, you can consider getting S1 Clementine, otherwise it's safe to skip. This will be a short video since she's not very complicated, so let's go. Clementine's basic attack has her shoot one enemy for some physical damage, nothing remarkable. For her ult, it costs 28 energy and she targets a location to throw out a hit which strikes twice. The first hit is in a plus shape and the second one is a 3x3 square. Due to her mania intensify, her ult will deal 2 core damage to an enemy once. So, if an enemy is hit by both waves, it only takes 2 core damage. But if an enemy is hit by only one wave, it will still take 2 core damage. Using 2 different ults will count separately, so for example, you can use Jitruan to refund Clementine's ult, use 2 ults, and deal 4 core damage total to a boss this way. This damage is treated as wind damage, so Jitruan can buff it with her Heaven Mark. Also, you can spam several of them on the field at the same time without issues. However, do note that because of the weird core condition, if you use Clementine's ult on an enemy without revealed cores, stuff that relies on core damage dealt like Necresta Hela's follow-up attack don't work. They will if the core is revealed and Clementine actually breaks something. Clementine's P1 has enemies who take damage from her ult get the Sinful Scar mark, which causes them to take 25% increased physical damage for 6 seconds. If you're wondering where this is, you have to actually click on Sinful Scar to see that you get it from dealing damage with her ult. I don't know why it's hidden like that. Anyway, additionally, for every 3 times an enemy with the mark takes wind damage from anyone, Clementine does a little extra wind damage to them as well. This effect can only be triggered up to 3 times per second. This seems intended to work with Xiaofeng's ult, which does many hits of wind damage rapidly. It's not a huge amount, but it's nice to have. Clementine's P2 is that for each chief energy obtained, her physical damage dealt increases by 2.5% up to 10 stacks for 24%. After allied sinners consume chief energy, this buff will also take effect on that sinner. This does not work by using the Potestas. You have to actually use the sinner to consume chief energy. Right now, the 2 major sinners who can do this are RF Zoya and Xiaofeng. So basically, Clementine can give 24% physical damage dealt buff to them, permanent once you stack it, which is really nice. Finally, Clementine's ECB really locks her into the Overlimit team. When a wave of her ult disappears, Clementine obtains 1 or 2 energy for herself, depending on ECB level, and if you are using Overlimit, additionally gains 30, 45, or 60 Overlimit value. This means at S0, ECB 3, Clementine can generate 120 Overlimit value per ult for Xiaofeng to use, basically 1.2 chief energy. Now, why did I specify S0? Because, moving on to Shackles, Clementine's S1 makes her ult trigger 3 hits instead of 2, and the 3rd hit further expands to be a diamond shape. Sinful Scar Mark additionally causes carriers to take another 20% more physical damage, totaling 45% physical damage taken for 6 seconds. This means at ECB 3, S1 Clementine regenerates 180 Overlimit value per ult, or 1.8 chief energy. These 2 traits are why S1 on Clementine is highly recommended for chiefs who enjoy playing Xiaofeng. That is her key shackle, you can basically stop there. If you think about it, in this team you have a choice to either refund Xiaofeng or Clementine. So if you refund on Xiaofeng, you basically refund 1.96 chief energy, but if you use S1 Clementine, you refund 1.8 and you get that physical damage taken bonus. Remember, 45% for 6 seconds. So with this, it feels like less of a quote-unquote waste to refund on Clementine because you only lose like a tiny 0.1, 0.2 chief energy in exchange for 45% physical damage taken buff. This effectively means that each of her ults costs, instead of 28, 22 energy or less, depending on how often you can spam it, especially in RTD. So yeah, it's nice. So it's quite worth it in that sense. Anyway, that is her key shackle and you can basically stop there. Her S2 and S5 are standard attack shackles, and her S3 causes her ult and P1 to do more damage. Though not so much that it matters to her as a support, and honestly, she does plenty at S1 for ROTD purposes, so it's optional. Her S4 is a standard starting energy Shackle, 18 energy when Clementine enters the battle. All in all, Clementine can be considered a strong core addition to Xiaofeng's Overlimit team. Although her physical damage taken buff is strong, I'm not sure I can fully recommend it generically outside of Overlimit, as Clementine's ult isn't that cheap and the duration isn't super long. Pull if you play Xiaofeng, skip if you don't, and await the arrival of S3 Celine, our next OP catalyst. Quick and easy kit review this time. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!